Hello, adventurers of all shapes and sizes. My name is Chance. Welcome to my guide, and thank you so much for tuning into what amounts to the ninth step in our character creation series. Today, we're just going to be taking a look at calculating modifiers. It's a little bit bland, but it is incredibly important because if you get it wrong, odds are you're just going to be playing the game wrong outright. So let's take a quick look at the first modifier we're going to look at, and that is perception. Now, your character's perception modifier simply measures how alert they are. That being said, however, perception has a ton of benefits to it. The main one, of course, being your initiative. The vast majority of the time, your perception is going to be your initiative modifier, so better perception means you get to go earlier on. Sounds pretty good. When it comes to calculating your perception modifier, it is your wisdom modifier, plus any proficiencies you may have, plus any additional modifiers. By additional or other modifiers, there's a couple of them. The most common is items. There is also a couple feats and class features that have an impact on several modifiers. So just make sure you're not missing everything. Go over it, add it up, make any notes if you need to, and there you go. Now let's move on. The second modifier we're going to be taking a look at is your saving throws. So for fortitude saving throws, you use your constitution modifier. For reflex saving throws, you use your dexterity modifier. And for will saving throws, you use your wisdom modifier. Now, more often than not, your DM is actually going to be the one that calls for certain saves, so you don't really need to worry too much about when they're relevant, when they're not. The game master will call for them. That being said, when it comes to calculating them, it is the relevant ability modifier plus any proficiency modifiers you may have in regards to that particular saving throw, and then add any additional modifiers that come in the way of items, class features, or feats. Now let's move on. The next modifier we're going to be taking a look at is your melee and ranged strikes. Melee weapons usually add your strength modifier to the damage roll, while ranged weapons might add some or all of your dexterity modifier, depending on the weapon's traits. We are going to be taking a better look at weapons when we go through the equipment section. In terms of what you need to know right now, though, melee is typically strength, ranged is typically dexterity. When it comes to calculating, it is the relevant ability modifier, plus any proficiency modifiers and any other modifiers as well, just like everything we've been covering so far. Now let's move on to skills. A skill represents a creature's ability to perform a certain task that requires instruction or practice. For the example, we're just going to take a look at acrobatics. It's pretty nice because all the skills are basically spelled out for you, which is nice. The calculation is the ability mod plus any proficiency modifier and any other modifiers through items or anything of that nature as well. Overall, it's all really easy to understand, but worth going over at this step. Just take a moment, double check everything over, make sure it's all accurate, and I will see you guys in the next step. I hope you all have a great day, and as always, happy adventuring.